I believe England are going to win the third test, and we're going to go through my reasons here. So there's multiple changes for England in this test match, and there might be one to maybe even up to three for the Australians. But yeah, just my first few reasons there. I think that obviously with a lot of the issues that are surrounding that second test with what happened, it has taken a little bit of the shine off how well the Australians have been playing. And I do believe that the England boys have made a bunch of mistakes that I think they'll rectify in this third test. And that's just going to give them the edge. And at home as well, I very much don't expect them to lose three tests in a row. I was having a look at the weather there, and it seems like maybe some potential for some rain, but I'd imagine there would be a result. And from what Stokes said, it sounds like, what Anderson kind of said as well, it looks like he's obviously not going to be playing this one, but they're going to make sure that they're going to have a wicket that pertains to a result being actually happening here, and that just means that the pitch will do a little bit more than potentially what the last two have done. There has been a result in those two tests anyway, with the way that both teams are playing. Obviously, the English, they're playing a little bit more aggressively than the Australians, but still at times Australia has been scoring very, very quickly, and both bowling sides being pretty solid, being able to take wickets at really important times. So we'll talk about the changes to the English team, and that is obviously in their bowling outfit is the big two, and then obviously Ollie Pope with going down with his shoulder. So they lose Ollie Pope, and the Aussies lose Nathan Lyon there, which are very, very important players for each of their sides, obviously with Pope being their number 3 bat and Lyon being the Australians' first choice spinner for the last 100 tests. So big congratulations to him on playing 100 tests in a row. Shame that the last one was a sad one, his 100th one, but the replacement there being Todd Murphy, really cool that he's going to get another opportunity like he did in India. So let's start with the Australians and their potential changes. I spoke that in that the last podcast video there about the potential for Hazlewood to come out, given he'd played 2 quick test matches coming back from injury and Boland coming back in. I think that with Scotty playing 2 in a row, Hazy's now played 2 in a row, and he'll come back in for that one, which is going to be really cool. But with Cummins there, that's 3 quick tests in a row, and this will be his 4th. I'm not sure if he'll be at his tip-top shape. It sounds like, from what I was just reading, that both Pat and all the quicks there have had basically all this last 3 days rest with the quick turnaround, and with the majority of the English bowlers there, with Woakes coming in, Mark Wood coming in, being very fresh. I think that's going to help them out a little bit. But if they do rotate Hazlewood in for Boland, and Starks just play that 1 test in a row, I think that's going to be obviously helpful for the Australians as well. But yeah, so there's that, and then apparently there's some talk about Cameron Green maybe being switched for Mitch Marsh as well. So we'll find out about the Australian 11 obviously at the toss, but the English have already said their team there. So let's move our attention to the English guys, and Moeen Ali comes in after his getting his rest on his finger, and I think that's going to be helpful, obviously with the all-round side there that he can play with the bat and the ball. It's going to be very helpful. And it looks like Harry Brooks actually going to bat at 3, which is, I don't think it really changes too much for him. I think if the Aussies can get him in early, there's obviously a little bit of an unknown there, given he bats at 5 for the most part here for England there. So that's going to be something that they can hopefully exploit there, is him at 3. Joe Root will be at 4. They've got Bairstow staying as the keeper. Stokes in there at 7. You got Moeen Ali, and Chris Woakes comes in. And I've been speaking about him since we did the Ashes preview a month or so ago, that I think Woakes should have been in this side from day one. So I think that's a big upgrade there, that Woakesy does come in, and he does come in for James Anderson as that more of a style, closer style to Anderson, which with his 22 average with the ball and 32 with the bat, I think it was an absolute no-brainer that he should be in there. Unless there's something I don't know about that was carrying an injury or something like that, I think he should have been picked. And I really do think he's going to be a really important factor for this English team. And we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, with the ball is going to be his most important factor, but with the bat as well, batting at 8, it's going to be very, very helpful for them with Ali and also Woakes being that kind of 30 average guys to be able to do a good job there. Broad and Ollie Robson stay. Mark Wood comes in for Josh Tong, and I'm not really sure about this pick unless Josh is a bit too tired or carrying something there, or it's just a reaction to needing to make a change. And if it's the latter, then okay, that makes sense. But I think Josh actually bowled pretty well, and obviously got a bunch of the Aussies out, especially that right arm round the wicket, being able to swing that ball in late. I think he will be able to have a better impact than what Mark Wood will do. He averages over 40 in England there. So not too excited by that one. And Josh has showed in both his test matches that he's played that he's been able to take good wickets and at a decent clip as well. So yeah, even against a really good Australian team. So Mark Wood, obviously the pace there, but I don't think the Australians are very worried about his pace. So it was Josh being able to swing the ball along with his pace that was the big one. And Mark Wood's not really one of those bowlers, but Woakes is, Broad is, and obviously Robinson as well. They're really going to have to step up in this test match, and the English batters are going to have to reduce the amount of mistakes they're making when they are batting, and that has cost them across the first 2 test matches, and they really took the lead or the upper hand on day 2 of test 2, and they absolutely threw that away from day 3 onwards, and almost won it with some Stokes heroics, which didn't happen. So the way I'm seeing this is I do like England's changes, and having that spinner is going to be helpful that they didn't have in the second test. I think Woakes is an upgrade at the moment. Anderson, just nothing against him, had an incredible career, but at this point he doesn't seem to be troubling the Aussies as much. He hasn't taken enough wickets, and 2 tests in a row. He definitely needs a break, in my opinion. Being at 40 years old, it's so much on the body. So if Woakes comes in for him, I think in this test exactly is going to be a bit of an upgrade. Having Moeen Ali back as a spinner is going to be an upgrade as well. And Wood over Tong, I'm not sure that's a massive upgrade there. The batting side of it, I think, is fine. They just have to make better decisions, in my opinion. The Australian 11, obviously with Lyon out, is a negative, but Todd should be able to do a great job. And depending on what this pitch is going to be like, I think it's really going to suit someone like Chris Woakes. I think it'll suit someone like Scott Boland really well also. So that's probably a like for like there. Pat up against Stuart Broad. I think it's going to be fair, and it's how guys like Stark and Murphy are going to outdo Robinson and Wood. And it sounds like Stokes he's not going to bowl too much, or he created his 11 based around if he doesn't bowl. Do they have enough? And they obviously have plenty, and a couple of guys that can be an all-rounder there. So really the important thing now is can the England batsmen, can they bat for longer periods of time and not expose Ali and also Woakes as they get down the line there. Just have a quick look back at the last game there, and a few of the guys that are under a little bit of pressure coming into this one. And you look at obviously that innings from Warner and those obviously 25 in the second one, just plenty of time out there in the middle, and that was very, very helpful. And I think with Marnus getting a couple of okay scores there, that's going to help him out, but he's still under a little bit of a cloud of potentially struggling a little bit with the balls outside off there. Smithy is back, so majority of guys in the top 5 basically all got runs, at least in the first test or the second test here. Like Head had a cracking first innings, didn't score in the second, but did a great job. So I'm not worried about any of the top 5 at the moment, which is really, really good to be able to say. Cam Green's probably the one at the moment. Alex Carey didn't score as many, but still got 22 and 21 in both of those there as well. I think most of the English batsmen we aren't worried about. It's just being able to protect their wicket for a little bit longer and make some better decisions. Joe Root wasn't able to score, only 28 runs for him in that test match, and I think he'll bounce back. So when I say I think England will win, I think it will be fairly close again, but I just think that because it was that close the whole time, they probably should have won the first one, and Australia should have won the second one. But at times throughout both test matches, England were ahead and had the upper hand, and I just think this time they're going to take their opportunity. They're going to move past all the crap that's been going on in between these 2 test matches, and everyone should. Bairstow is not talking at the moment about the dismissal because he knows it was a mistake, and all of the ex-cricketers are coming out across the Ashwin and these guys are coming out saying that I'd be very disappointed in myself if I was a person to do that. So that hopefully is behind everyone. I hope that the Aussies come out and there isn't a hell of a lot of crap that's going to be thrown on them by the crowd, and I do think it will distract them a little bit, and that's why I'm just giving England that little bit of an edge with a couple of their changes, and obviously the Australians for the most part having played 3 test matches fairly close in a row, and I think this could be the bounce back that England need to get back in these test matches. And if England do go on to win this third one, I do expect Australia to win the fourth. Complacency comes into it as well. So hopefully that there's something that they've spoken about. Now they've won 3 test matches in a row. It's great to be on a high, but sometimes it can come back and knock you down back a peg, like you see in many other sports there. But that's my thoughts coming into the third test. Obviously, still super excited to see how the Aussies will go. They've answered a lot of the questions that we had for them in the preview to all of these test matches, especially going into the Indian first one and then the first 2 tests here in the Ashes. they've answered most of those questions with bat. Especially, there was less questions around them with ball, and fielding wise has been pretty solid for the most part as well. So I'm super excited to watch this third test match, and I hope you guys are as well. Thanks for watching.